Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jason Wright Show. All right. So today I am going to bring to you a coaching session that just by pure dumb luck, I happened to stumble upon while skimming through YouTube. And generally, I don't watch coaching videos. I've been kind of in a kind of like a lull and kind of a dip. And I just happened to stumble upon this and it spoke to me like it just hit me between the eyes. And the reason why is because I had at least a year and a half to 2-year period where I beat my head against a wall trying to create some coaching courses. I had an app through passion.io. I started using ClickFunnels and I started trying to write some books. I mean, I went all in. I spent a ton of money. I spent a ton of time, and I always had this itch to go back to it. But I on this podcast, I love having these moments where I have an epiphany and I get to share it with the audience. I love talking to guests on the podcast when I interview them and they just a light bulb comes on and it's something I get to share with you, the audience. It lights me up. And I've always wanted to coach and do things on a greater level, but there's something that just keeps me from going back to it. I think I just went so hard to the hoop and it really kind of defeated me as to why it wasn't working, why I wasn't getting to where I wanted to go. For example, ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson's product, is a fantastic marketing tool. It's not that complicated to use. However, for me, every single time I would sit down to try to build a basic marketing funnel, it was like beating my head against a wall. And so I had to gear myself up to know I was going to be very, very frustrated whenever I decided to try to build a funnel. And then it was like, well, even if I get this funnel created, then I've got to go out and I've got to get it marketed through Facebook ads or Instagram ads or just by thinking about all the roadblocks that would be in my way, I was like, I'm just not going to do it. And I guarantee there's some of you out there that you have this thing, this passion. You maybe you've listened to Tony Robbins and you've heard him say, there's this thing that you know that whenever you're on your front porch, when you're 80 years old, it's your rocking chair time and you're sitting there and you're going to think about all those things that you didn't do. And you're like, I know I need to do this and I will never be happy. That distance between where I am and where I want to be, there's something there that's off. And I want to solve for that, but you don't know how. And so as a result of if getting from where you are to where you want to be, there's all this resistance and this frustration, then you end up staying stuck right here and never moving. That's what I have done for so long. And there's kind of a project that I'm working on right now with one of my businesses. And I'm in that place where there's things I know that can move that business forward that I'm not doing because I know it's just going to be so frustrating and aggravating. But in this coaching session with, I believe the guy's name is Joe Hudson. So Joe Hudson, I would love to have you on the Jason Wright Show. If this ever happens to find its way to you, this is an incredible coaching session that you did with this gentleman. And I think all of us, maybe not all of us, but if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a creator, if you're someone that's trying to go from 0 to 1, I can almost guarantee you have found yourself in the exact same place that Joe's client is in right now. So what I want to do is I just want to share this coaching session that Joe did with this gentleman and make some comments along the way. I will try my best not to pop in too much. I know that can get aggravating, but I do want to share with you some of the things that welled up in me as I watched this session. So with that, let's check this out.
In this coaching session that happened during one of our live Q&As, we meet a man who's procrastinating so much that he's having a hard time getting his side hustle off the ground. And during the video, we discover the thing that's really holding him back and how that procrastination can completely dissolve.
So my question for you.
Yeah.
I procrastinate a lot. And my question is, how do I get to the root of that procrastination?
Yeah. And what do you procrastinate a lot on what? Because there's shit you don't procrastinate on. For instance, you didn't procrastinate on this call, putting your shirt on in the morning.
Yeah.
So what is it that you procrastinate on?
Work stuff. So I've got some clients.
Again, so not all your work stuff do you procrastinate on?
No.
So what's the stuff that you procrastinate on in work?
Well, you could call it, let's just say, side hustle, side project, which is something of my own.
Okay.
It's looked like that for many years.
So it's the confluence of something that takes care of yourself and money, where you procrastinate.
Yes.
Taking care of somebody else and money, do you procrastinate?
Could you say that again?
If you're taking care of somebody else and earning money, do you procrastinate?
I.e. my children. No, I do what I need to do.
Okay.
Sure.
So the only place you're procrastinating is where money and taking care of yourself happens.
Yes.
Is that accurate? Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So what makes you not want to take care of yourself?
Now, I think this was very profound for me, because the thing that I'm procrastinating on is a business that it's not even going to be a side hustle. This is something that I truly believe could not only be a business that starts on the side, but could grow into something that could yield me probably more wealth than anything I've ever pursued before in my life. And yet I won't go after it. And I guarantee you there's something like that for you. And maybe it's not something that's monetizable. It's not just about monetary gain and financial freedom. It might just be something that, if you could learn to play the guitar, if you could learn to paint, if you could take that trip to Paris or whatever the case may be, that if you did it, your life would be so fulfilled. It's almost like the biggest things that we attach the greatest amount of potential satisfaction, reward, achievement. Those are the things that we just won't do. And I think that's really odd. And so this little section with the questions that Joe's going through with this client really got me to thinking about how stupid that is of me. It's like this thing that I want so badly that could yield so much happiness and contentment is the thing that I just won't even go after. And we're going to find out why.
Well, I mean, I take care of myself well physically.
Yeah. What makes you want to not take care of yourself financially?
I think I oscillate between fear of success and failure.
Gotcha.
The fear of success is that I'll become overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I'll be unable to.
How overwhelmed are you with the procrastination?
Considerably so.
Okay. So it's not overwhelm you're scared of. You're doing it to yourself all the time.
How do you mean?
Well, you're procrastinating all the time. That's overwhelming.
Yeah, that is.
So you don't have any fear of overwhelm. That's happening all the time.
It does happen all the time. Yeah.
So what's the real fear?
That I won't be able to handle it. That ultimately it'll fail. So I think that the fear of success is ultimately the fear of failure, because it'll go up and then, well, hopefully.
So that means when you're doing this stuff, so when you're working for somebody else, none of that shit's going through your head. When you're working for yourself, all that shit's going through your head. So when you're doing your work for yourself, give me a project that you're procrastinating on.
I've got a website I'm building out.
I want to tell you something that this reminded me of too, real quick, where he's talking about how if you're working for yourself and you fail and you think about that, then there's a lot more weight to it. If you're working for somebody else, the money's coming in, you're getting a paycheck. That's one thing. But it reminded me of one time I was basically an interim CEO for a company and I wasn't getting paid. It was a buddy of mine from business school. He had a firm that he had started with one of our other classmates. The other classmate didn't work out. And so he asked me to step in. And the idea was if I ran it in the interim for free, that I would basically get sweat equity. I would earn 30% of ownership of the firm. And as it went on, I was complaining to one of my mentors how I wasn't getting paid. I was putting too much time into it. Nothing was in writing that dealt with the 30% potential equity. And he brought up the point. He said, the reason why you're doing it is because there's no consequence. You're afraid to ask him to pay you because if he pays you, then all of a sudden now you have to perform. There's something on the line. But right now, whether you succeed or you fail, it doesn't matter because you're working for free anyway. That, I think, is what we do so often when it comes to our real dream hustle. I hate the word hustle. It's so overused, but whatever, for lack of a better term, our entrepreneurial venture that we will not set out to do because we know as long as it only resides in our mind as a potential exit from the quote unquote rat race or working for the man or whatever the case, as long as it's just this potential thing that we know we can be successful at, there is no chance of failure as long as it never actually becomes a reality. Whereas if we go ahead and take the steps to make it real and rely on it to make our money, then all of a sudden our dream and to some degree our hope in that thing to solve our financial issues, our self-actualization issues, wherever this falls within our lives, if that dies and that goes away, then that's the real scary thing. Another thing that the client says, I think makes a lot of sense, because I've thought about this, is, oh crap, what if I pursue this and it really does take off and all of a sudden there's all this responsibility, all this work, and the bigger it gets, it overwhelms me. It takes me away from this life I know that I've kind of got a rhythm for, but all of a sudden I end up just running on the hedonic treadmill and then that causes me to fail. It's my marriage suffers. And we start to think of all these worst case scenarios, even in the instance of success. So just a lot of nuggets coming out of this session.
Just a niche website.
Okay, great. So you're building out this website, and when you're doing it, how does it feel different in your body than when you're building a website out for your kid or doing the work for someone else?
Yeah. Well, if it was for my kid, for example, there'd be a lightness about it. There wouldn't be any pressure.
Great. So basically what you're saying is you procrastinate on things that feel like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I put so much importance and pressure on me, that being the thing that it's that or nothing,
Yeah. It defines you.
Like I'm gripping on.
Yeah. Right. So, right. If every time you played the guitar,
you
were like, oh, I got to do this fucking perfect, you would not play guitar.
No, I mean,
if every time you doom scrolled and you were like, I've got to fucking do my finger perfectly on that scroll, you would stop doom scrolling.
Yeah. Right. Well, the perfectionism is also at play here.
Yeah.
It also makes for a shitty website. Great websites connect. Yeah. They're not perfect.
I want to say something too here. What Joe Hudson, I keep forgetting if that's his name. I think that is Joe Hudson. What he does here is really cool because what he's describing right now is a growth versus fixed mindset. Now, that you've probably all heard, that's been beat to death. I mean, right? Carol Dweck's work on growth versus fixed mindset has been done to death. We've all talked about it, trying to develop a growth mindset. What does that mean? But what he coaches this dude through is nothing more than shifting from a fixed mindset. I don't want to do that because I might fail, to a growth mindset of there is no failure. Even if I do the thing and fail, I learn something. And if, as we're about to see in a moment, if I reframe it in a way that says, I'm just going to have fun doing this. No pressure. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the final product. I just want to do it, get something done, and have fun while I do it. I've got a guitar sitting right over there behind this camera. I don't touch it because I suck so bad. And I'm tired. I got so angry and so tired of sitting down and sucking every single time because I am a recovering fixed mindset individual. Big time, big time. Everything throughout my life has been a performance. I have to perform. I have to look good doing it. I have to be good at it. And if I'm not, I don't want to touch it because I don't want anyone to see me suck at something. That's why I never play golf. Golf is not a sport for a fixed mindset individual. Golf will humble everybody. And as someone who thinks that he has to be good at everything he does, or he just won't even do it at all, I can't play golf. It's limited me on so many different things. And so what he's describing right here is just that. He's saying you're approaching this with a fixed mindset. You're looking at it as though if it can't be perfect, if you can't be a master at it, if you can't be a ninja web developer, then you're never going to do it because it will make you miserable to even try. You're going to get frustrated. You're going into it with a fixed mindset, then you're never going to touch the website. And no website there's always going to be room for a little bit better. And like Joe says, a really good website is a connector to other things, I mean, it's so crazy. Even in 2025, when websites aren't that big of a deal, that was one of my hangups. And it's one of the reasons why this kind of resonated with me whenever I was trying my coaching site, this podcast. I had this website for my podcast for the longest. And how many of you have ever gone to Joe Rogan's website? Or, not comparing myself to Joe Rogan, but somebody that has a real podcast, like the biggest in the world. You don't go to their freaking websites. I went to Rich Roll's website and I was like, oh my God, that thing is beautiful. I got to make my website look just like his. But then I still get hung up on this. And that's why right now I don't even have a website really for the show. I've got one that my syndicator, it kind of comes with my package, and I put the episodes on there, but I'm not leveraging it. But I think I need this beautiful, this glamorous website so that if you happen to go to it, you look at it and you go, oh man, this guy must be great, but he's got a really cool website. It's a bunch of crap. So this just really spoke to me because so many of the things that's holding this guy back have held me back. And I guarantee you, some of you have had the same thing happen. So let's continue.
Yeah, it's the kind of perfection where I'm not doing everything, redoing it. It's the kind that stops me from starting. It's that
Correct.
kind of perfectionism.
That's right. Because as soon as you engage, it feels like shit.
Yeah. And what happens is I run into this, I have a really low threshold for frustration. And it feels like if I'm taking a step forward, then something will get in my way. And that my tolerance for that is almost rage.
Yeah, you're going to get in the way. You're in the way.
Yeah.
You're not like, how do I have fun building a website? You're like, how do I make a perfect website?
Yeah, I am in the way because it's all too much.
Let's just say for a second, you were like, hey, I'm going to have fun building a website for myself. The only requirement, it doesn't matter how fucking good it is. The only requirement is that I have fun.
This right here, by the way, when Carol Dweck was doing her research on growth versus fixed mindset, this is what she found. The kids that had a growth mindset, they would do these puzzles that were really complicated. And the kids with the growth mindset would be like, I want to do it again. I want to try again. That was fun. It was just a game for them. The fixed mindset kids were like, no, I don't want to do this. It's too hard. They couldn't accept. It was either because their identity was based on the outcome of the puzzle. If I perform well, if I do the puzzle, then I'm smart. I've got ability. If I don't, I'm a failure. I'm dumb. Whereas the growth mindset kids looks like I'm neither smart, dumb, successful, or failure. I'm just having fun trying to figure this out. What's happening right here, and the fact that Joe Hudson is able to get through this without digging up growth mindset, which again has been done to death, is just awesome. I mean, this guy with one video, this guy won me over. So well done, sir.
Yeah, there's a lot more energy in that. There's way less friction. It's like, well,
and what's the quality of the website going to be compared to if you try to do it perfect? Assuming you got it done, which I'm not going to assume is true, but you got it done going, this has to be a perfect website. And you got it done saying, I'm going to have fun doing this website. What would be the difference in quality of the websites?
And imagine the one that's fun will be of higher quality.
Okay, but let's assume that it isn't. Let's assume that it's shitty quality compared to the perfect one.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to have fun redoing my website, improving my website. Then eventually you'll get the website.
Yeah, it'll get done.
Yeah, it'll get done.
Yeah. I'll go a lot further when it's fun.
That's right. And the only thing making it not fun is that you somehow think it's important.
Yeah, that's right. It's like it's the world saving, keep me off the streets kind of.
Great. Now I'm going to make you really uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah. Prove to all of us that it's important, your website.
That it's important?
Yeah. It's so fucking important that it's not fun and you don't do it. So prove to us why it's so fucking important.
Because if I don't do it, then I will be working for somebody else. And that I don't want to do that anymore. And my income will be limited and I won't get to where I want to be. And I won't be able to give my kids the lifestyle that I want them to have and be the dad that I want to be. I'll be stuck.
You are stuck.
I know. Yeah. For a long time.
Yeah. It's so important that it makes you stuck.
Yeah. I think that beneath that is the fear that I'll
Which would you rather, just curious, which would you rather, to work for somebody else or to constantly be under the yoke of a perfectionist?
Well,
because that's your choice right now. And I see which one you're making.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I see that.
You want to work for yourself, you got to be a good boss.
Yeah. I got to take the pressure off myself.
That is a way to put pressure on yourself. I've got to take the pressure off myself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pressure, isn't it?
That's more pressure.
Yeah. So how do I...
Could you imagine how horrible I'd be at what I'm doing right now if I needed to get a result?
Very.
Yeah.
What he just says right there, by the way, Joe Hudson, for any of you out there that you make your living coaching or something to that effect, he just gave some insight that I, as someone who used to do some personal coaching for entrepreneurs, it was my biggest struggle because I always had this mindset that if the person I'm coaching doesn't reach some level of success or improvement, it's on me. I have to have a result. The reason why I can tell you, one of the reasons why Joe Hudson is such a great personal coach is because he has relieved himself of that burden. This guy he's talking to, he doesn't have to have a result of this guy going out and creating this website he's talking about and it just being gangbusters and scaling and causing him to be able to spend his summers in the south of France. It doesn't have to. Joe Hudson has relieved himself of that burden. All he has to do is do exactly what he's doing right now. Ask this guy pointed questions. Help him tease out these thoughts and sort out the things that are keeping him stuck. That's his job. He's like, that's all I have to do. I don't have to have a result from this guy. And that's what we do. We think that we must demand a result of the action we're taking, lest it be for naught, fruitless, whatever. And when that's the case, we end up, again, just staying stuck in the mire where we are. Great stuff.
Yeah. Probably wouldn't be sat here still.
Yeah. I would hate my job.
Yeah.
Right. Would you know how bad this session would be if you needed to be perfect?
Yeah, it'd be pretty awful.
It'd be pretty awful.
Mm.
So how do you just enjoy, like right now, how do you enjoy this moment 10% more?
This moment right now.
This moment right now. Yeah, that looks like you did it.
I just appreciate that I'm here.
Yeah.
On a call with you and all these people.
Yeah. Well, that's how you enjoy your work more too.
All right.
That's it.
That's
That's it.
okay.
So what I want you to do is for the next week, I want you to sit down in front of your computer with the intention to work and enjoy yourself. And the most important thing is to enjoy yourself. The second most important thing is to work.
Fantastic. Thank you.
So it's just, if I'm not enjoying myself, stop what I'm doing, figure out a way to do it in a way that I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Make your work something that is lovely for you to do, and you won't procrastinate.
Yeah, I like that. Lovely for me to do.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. I thought that was just such a great video to show exactly how you can reframe this thing. First of all, let's kind of back this up. I want to distill it down into some major takeaways. One, how many of you that stumbled across this video, like I stumbled across Joe Hudson's video, you want to do something that you know could be life-changing? It could change the whole trajectory of your life, your children's life. And you're just not doing it. You place such amazing weight and importance on it. But because of the path to get there and the frustration that you see involved, and the only thing you see is a solution that's keeping you stuck. It would be like, imagine this. Imagine if Nick Saban had never pursued a national championship or never pursued coaching unless he knew he could win a national championship every single year. Because all he could think about was all the work that it takes, all the bad calls, all the bad plays, all the, whatever the circumstances might be that would prevent him, and the wrong play calling, bad coaching, whatever the case may be. All he could think about is the frustration of all the things you have to overcome to win a national championship. So therefore, he just decided, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to think about being a coach one day, but I'm never going to do it because I cannot imagine a national championship that's just too freaking hard. And every single time I try to draw out a roadmap of a season that ends with a national championship, it's just too much. He never did that. Instead, what he did was he focused on the first 7 seconds off the snap of the ball and coaching that, because that was manageable. And he had some fun along the way. I mean, it doesn't look like Nick Saban had fun, but the dude enjoyed what he was doing, or he wouldn't have done it so long. He loved it. And I know personally that, to me, one of the things that when I had those moments of making something I don't want to do that's going to be hard, if I make it fun, then I'm more likely to do it. It's why we go work from a coffee shop. It's why I get out. I mean, I'm here in my home office, which is awesome. This is my little sanctuary. But sometimes these walls close in. The only window I have in here is this one behind me. And I get frustrated because sometimes the equipment's not exactly the way I want it, and everything's not the way. I still, to this day, I don't think the background looks right to do a video like this. And I think of all these things. I wish I had a better studio, and I wish that I could be Chris Williamson, who, he's able to just have this simple little setup whenever he's doing his remote interviews, but mine doesn't look as good. And so I just screw it. I'm just going to quit the podcast. I'm not going to do it. Hell, I don't have that many subscribers anyway, so why do it? It sucks. I don't want to go through the video. But instead, if I just do this, today I found something that excited me. I thought that this video was good. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to figure out a way to turn this into some content and share it with you. There was fun and excitement in it. And so all the crap I'm going to go through after I stop this, of realizing the video's gone too long, so YouTube's probably going to hate it. Somebody out there is probably going to put some crappy comments down. And plus, I'm going to have to go to the script, which is going to be really slow in uploading it and editing it and all this stuff. And I'm going to do it all myself. No one's going to help me. But I'm going to go through it. I'm just going to have fun doing it. I'm just going to try to make it fun. I'm going to try to add some little things to it to make it fun. I'm going to try to cut it up and slice it up. And I've had fun doing it. This was fun. That's what I did. I said, I may not even publish this. I may not even upload this to you. You may never see this. I don't know. But I just knew that it would be fun to go back and watch that coaching session again and try to do something with it. And I think you can tell by my enthusiasm, this is pretty fun. This is a fun video. I hope you found it beneficial. Even if you fast forwarded, I know I went too long. Again, YouTube's probably gonna be like, yeah, dude, this was supposed to be 3 minutes. You made it over half an hour. Oh, well. But if you happen to be one of the 3 people that sees this, I hope you found something beneficial from it. I hope that you will have that growth mindset instead of the fixed mindset. I hope that you will go pursue the thing you want to with vigor and have fun while you're doing it. Don't stay stuck. And I'm going to try to do the same thing. I'm going to try to get back into ClickFunnels and get this business scaled that I'm going after. That was one of the things that inspired me to do that today, and I haven't done it in 6 months. And since it's inspired me, I was like, okay, I got to share this with some other folks out there. I hope you found it beneficial. God bless you. Thanks for listening to the Jason Wright Show. Please click like or subscribe. Please leave comments. Please listen to the show and leave it a 5-star rating on Spotify, iTunes, all the things. I'm out. Well, that does it for this episode of the Jason Wright Show. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a Texas Titan Media production. Fourth Wall did the music. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Please consider going out to jasonwrightnow.com and signing up for the Vitruvian letter. Also, please go out to iTunes. It takes like 30 seconds to just leave us a 5-star rating. It does wonders for the podcast. I would be so grateful. And with that, until we meet again, go crush it and endeavor to improve always in all ways. I'm out.